Creatures of the night, it's your girl Tati. Let's talk about AEW Dynasty. Please let me know what you think is going to happen on the show. Put it down below in the comments. I can't really necessarily say that I'm excited about the pay-per-view because it just feels like Revolution was like 3 weeks ago, I'm pretty sure. Not even a whole month ago. And it just seems like the pay-per-views are very close together. And personally, if it was me, if I had my own company, I would not have pay per views that close. I think sometimes this can be an issue for some of the stories that's going on. And then financially, for people who have to keep coughing out this $50, Tony Khan, people that actually want to. Support AEW, it can be pretty costly in just a short amount of time. Now, you guys know to watch pay per view, you can watch it on Triller TV, payperview.com. You can also watch it on Amazon Prime. They just had that deal that started for the last pay per view of Revolution. Still the same price, $50. If you use a VPN, you can get it much cheaper. I use a VPN so that I can be able to purchase the pay per views for much less. Tony Khan, you still getting my money, but you ain't getting the US amount of dollars that you're looking for. So for two pay per views that I had got for Revolution and Dynasty, I paid $35 just pretending I live in the UK with my little debit card. It's something that I feel like really keeps a couple of dollars in your pocket, especially in this economy. So if you want to purchase the pay per views for a cheaper price and still support AEW, I absolutely recommend using a VPN. Now let's get into the card for AEW Dynasty. All right, so here we go. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of put them in order of matches that I just kind of don't give a fuck about. So from the ones I really don't care for, and then moving on up to the ones that I'm more excited for. Now, this right here for the Ring of Honor World Championship, Bandito versus Chris Jericho. Yes, we had a match with them like over a month ago where Bandito did go for the title on Collision, I want to say, which he did not win. Things have heated up on the storyline, so maybe. Let me just tell you, Prayer Warriors, y'all gonna have to come through because we are tired of Chris Jericho with the title. Now, I would be honest if Chris Jericho actually added something to being a Ring of Honor champion. And honestly, he adds absolutely zilch to being the Ring of Honor champion. He is not even on the show at all. He's not putting any work. And whenever he's defending the title, it is exclusively on AEW. How does that help the Ring of Honor brand? I don't know. My pick to win here is Bandito. The only reason why I'm saying I think he's going to win is because this is a title versus mask type of situation. So if Bandito loses, he has to unmask. And I don't know how ugly he is under that. So you know what? Never mind. I would prefer to see Bandito keep the mask on. And usually when it's situations like that where it's a title versus mask or whatnot, the luchador takes the win. And honestly, Bandito being a former Ring of Honor champion, I think would add something better to Ring of Honor than fucking Chris Jericho. All right, TNT title. Danny Garcia going against Adam Cole. Everyone is barred from ringside and there's no time limit. Oh, Lord. I don't care about this. We all don't care about this. That match that they had a few weeks ago. And here's another thing too, with them being so for me, I feel like a lot of these matches are kind of last second in terms of the card for the pay-per-view. Because it's like you did this a couple of weeks ago and we're just doing a rematch. It's like sometimes people are just gonna be like, you know what, let me keep this little $50 in my pocket instead of spending it on something I just saw a couple of days ago. For me, Adam Cole's not doing another damn thing for me. Daniel Garcia, I do like him, but like right now, I'm not feeling anything with what he's doing. Would it matter to me if he retained? No. Would it matter to me if Adam Cole won? No. If it was me, I would have stripped the titles and be like, "Hey, both of y'all bitches, we're done with y'all. We just gonna vacate this damn thing. We moving on." That's what I would have did. I'm bored, absolutely bored. It really doesn't matter in terms of what happens here because with this title reign, Daniel, we haven't gotten anything with it. I wouldn't be surprised if Adam Cole ends up taking the win. I'm actually going to go with Adam Cole taking the win because we got to have one title change on this damn show. All right, tag team titles are on the line. The Hurt Syndicate, Lord have mercy, Shelton Benjamin. Oh my God. going against Big Bill and Brian Keith. Big Bill and Brian Keith, is this their first time on the AEW pay per view? Maybe not Big Bill, maybe not, because he was a former AEW tag champion with Ricky Starks. Um, I can't say that I care for this. What I would say is right now there's a more priority of MJF wanting to join the Hurt Syndicate. He's just as black as everyone else in the group, apparently, with that tan. And I think this is going to be the situation, maybe, that MJF proves himself. Because remember, he said on Dynamite how he was going to prove himself in terms of being what's best for business if he joins the Hurt Syndicate. Does the Hurt Syndicate actually need help going against Big Bill and Brian Keith? In my opinion, no, no. But to keep the story moving along with MJF, MJF can play a role into this where he helps the Hurt Syndicate retain the title, and that'll open Bobby's eyes to saying, you know what, he not so bad to have in this group after all. Honestly, I don't think it's actually needed, but for storyline purposes, I can see that Hurt Syndicate, of course, they're going to retain. AEW International Championship three-way match. I was really disappointed that this ended up turning out to be a three-way. I feel like it is unnecessary and it serves the purpose. Ricochet, we love you. I don't care what anybody said. Ricochet has made a tremendous amount of change since he's been in AEW. And when they giving all them awards for 2025 or whatever, I want to see all these so-called wrestling journalists giving this guy all the awards because he's actually put in the work. Ricochet was only thrown into here so that Mike Bailey wouldn't have to take an L per se. Somebody had to be the fall guy, and they don't want it to be Mike Bailey so soon. So Ricochet, that's the purpose that he's there for. I'm glad he got the opportunity, but I would have rather it be just one of them. I wish we could be able to see a little bit more of Kenny Omega since he's been holding the title. And while y'all know I love me Kenny Omega, part of the reason why I didn't care for him winning this title was because I knew that I mean, despite him still having match of the year so far, 2025, I knew he was not going to be able to put in the work like Takeshita did with the international title. Takeshita was wrestling in the U.S., Japan, and Australia in the same motherfucking week. Okay, that's how much work he was putting in when he had the international title. And I was like, Kenny Omega is not going to be doing that. He's not going to be doing that. So we haven't really seen him as much as I would like to see him since he's won the title. For this is his first title defense since he's won it. There's no reason for him to lose it. I can't see Ricochet or Speedball taking the win. Kenny Omega is going to pin or have Ricochet submit. Oh, you know what? Kenny Omega don't be doing no submissions. He's going to end up pinning Ricochet for the win for sure. All right. So yeah, Dynamite, when I did the live stream, we were talking. I was like, wait a minute, there's only 6 matches on the card. Tony Khan gonna drop a whole bunch of matches on us to make this like up to 10 matches or whatnot. And this is how he's doing it by adding the first quarterfinal matches on the pay per view to take that spot. I don't agree with this at all. And I'm gonna tell you why I don't agree with this. We don't have to make the pay-per-view feel like it needs to be 10 fucking matches long. And then number two, if you look at the brackets for the Owen Hart Cup, it's not that many matches, to be honest with you. It's not that many matches. It's only 8 people involved for the women and the men. And that right there is going to take things to what is it, 3 matches, so up to get all together is going to be for per bracket for each bracket for the men's and the women's, it's going to be 6 matches total. And with that being said, the finals will actually be at Double or Nothing, which is on May 25th. It is fucking, the pay-per-view is going to be on the 6th of April. We're just like, well, what we gonna do all this time? They could actually drag this out because there is enough time to do this. And instead, they're adding these matches onto the pay per view, which I don't agree with. Where the fuck is Okada? Why is Okada never doing anything? You know how people were so excited for Okada to be in this fucking company, and really, we have not really seen much of him. And it's just like he has a title and he's not doing anything. For the billionth time, oh, actually, there's a number 4 right there on the screen. We're going to see Pastor Briscoe going against Kyle Fletcher. And for me, it's just like, okay, who is the one who Tony Khan, obviously, the person who's putting the matches together in these tournaments. This is just absolutely insane. It's nothing but rematches all the time. So once again, we're going to see Mark Briscoe and Kyle Fletcher. This is we've seen them in a span of like just a couple of months since the Continental Classic. I want to say like 3 times already in the ring. And it's just like, while they're great with each other, like, can we see something different? They could have done something different. For me, Kyle Fletcher advanced. Pastor Briscoe, we love you. I don't know what's going on with him in AEW, but at least he getting a check and them kids can eat. Kyle Fletcher takes the win. Now here's another quarterfinals match. William Ospreay versus Kevin Knight. William's gonna win. Let me tell y'all something. I understand that there has to be top people in the company. Kevin Knight, this guy here. If you've never seen Kevin Knight, please check him out. He's absolutely amazing. He's part of the Jet Setters with Kushida, and they're amazing tag team. By the way, um, William Ospreay, he's definitely that top guy, and I can understand why the company favors him. But I do feel like it's a bit it's an overkill. It's an overkill. No matter what he's involved in, he's going to win. If he don't win this whole motherfucking thing, which I hope not, because I know a lot of us are praying about Hangman winning this. It is really I whether or not he wins this, let's just be honest. I think that he's going to make it to All In anyway. He can go for any title if it's not going to be the world title. And for me, I'm not feeling it just being him, the chosen one. It's definitely going to be, while he's super talented. I don't want it to feel like that John Cena vibes of him just always being on top. And it's just like, what about everybody motherfucking else in the company? Will Ospreay is definitely going to end up taking the win and at least advancing onto the semifinals. All right, another match from the Owen Hart Cup tournament. And I'm gonna say this because they added two of the men's, okay, from each side of the bracket, and only one of the women's, which disappointed me because I was like, you had the opportunity to actually do the same thing that y'all did with the men's, but instead y'all just like, oh no, our limit is 2 women's match per pay-per-view. What the fuck? You know what? CEO, our lovely CEO, going against the lovely Julia Hart. Mercedes has not taken a loss in AEW so far since she's been here. So I don't see her losing this at all. Julia, I'm curious to see what ends up happening here. I don't necessarily see there being like interference with like Athena or Billy Starks or anything like that. I think it's going to be a fair fight, and Mercedes going to end up taking the win because, like I said, she hasn't taken any else. But I'm disappointed that they just could not say, hey, we are putting the quarterfinal matches for the ladies and the men's on here, but instead they end up just doing one instead of doing two of them like you're doing with the men because they just cannot be bothered to have more TV time for the girls, and I'm so motherfucking over it. Tony Khan, AEW, all y'all get a motherfucking grip. Y'all can do a whole pay-per-view for the girls if y'all wanted to, but they don't. Two is the max for AEW. For the women's title, Tony Storm, Lord have mercy, she has. How is she perfect? How is she perfect? I just don't know. She's absolutely perfect. Going against Megan Bain. This is one of the ones that I'm most interested in because it's something that we've never seen. And from what we've seen with Megan, I am really happy what I'm seeing with her. What we saw last from Tony Storm in terms of the Revolution pay per view, I am hoping to see some really great chemistry with these girls and for them to do something, hopefully, that we've never seen before. High hopes for an amazing match here. I don't know what the chemistry is going to be like. I'm not even going to lie. However, Tony Storm, there's no way she's going to end up losing. Megan's definitely going to end up taking her first L in AEW. I do feel like there's going to be shenanigans, which I kind of don't feel like is needed in this match. You know that Penelope Megan got some kind of friendship going on, and then we have Thunder Rosa who could possibly get involved. I'm not sure. She is part of the Owen Hart Cup, so I don't know if she's gonna want to get involved in this situation. But she does have a little beef with Megan Bain. For me, Tony Storm retains. Now, before we go on to talk about the main event, I did forget to put the picture of the trios title. How did I forget that? I don't know. So altogether, it's fucking 10 matches. Like I don't even know why we needed to do all this, but the trios match is going to be FTR, rated FTR, excuse me, going against the Death Riders. I have gone actually back and forth in my mind about this because it's like I kind of feel like with the name Dynasty, they can actually have the Death Riders all members just lose tonight and to start a new dynasty, if you will, within AEW with getting rid of the Death Riders per se. For the trios match, I'm not necessarily sure where they're going to go with it, but there are issues with Dax Harwood and Uncle Adam, and sort of with Cash Wheeler. Dax has been somewhat of a heel as of late, or just kind of seemed confused and conflicted, which will get in the way in that match and kind of be an excuse if they end up losing anyway. For me, actually, I see the Death Riders end up retaining. But I think that if they lose, it would actually not be a bad thing for the main event where we have John Moxley going against Swerve for the world title. I would not be mad that all Death Riders members would lose titles at Dynasty to start basically something new. I love every single member in the Death Riders, and I've been riding with them this entire time. However, we have hit a brick wall with this story. Things did get interesting with Swerve being involved, sure, but something about it where it's just like the Death Riders could have been so much more. And honestly, I just so many things just didn't go probably the way that they wanted it to. And I think people are looking for a change. This has been going on since what, August, I want to say. And I think people are absolutely over it at this point. I'm kind of over it, but we can move on and start something else. Swerve Strickland became world champion last year at Dynasty, defeating Samoa Joe. So it would actually be interesting to see him win at this year Dynasty once again. Swerve can definitely hold this title and do it justice, I think, at least until All In. And that goes with Hangman being part of the Owen Hart Cup. A lot of people are pulling for Swerve to win at Dynasty and for Hangman to win the Owen, and them being able to go against each other at All In, this big stage, the biggest show of the year in Texas, with them two going at it, would be a really great main event to continue this saga that they got going on. And honestly, I would be cool with it if we ended off on that note. Um, the pay per view, I can't say I have high hopes for. There's certain things here I just really don't care for. It's the 3 weeks in between pay per views is absolutely insane if you ask me. But as usual, Tony Khan, they have an amazing roster in AEW. These guys and girls, they put in a lot of work and they always show up and show out. And honestly, I can't really think off the top of my head of a bad AEW pay per view. Even Ring of Honor pay per views usually knock it out of the park. So if you're looking for great entertainment when it comes to wrestling, I'm pretty sure this is going to end up being a really great show. Guys, thanks so much for watching my video. If you got your predictions, put them down in the comments below. And I'll see you guys for Dynasty live stream. And if you don't catch me for the live stream, I will also be doing a review. See you guys then. Bye.